Shouldn't be kicking in this early. Oh, hey, so last video before I head out, 1981's Bloody Birthday, directed by Ed Hunt. This is a fun film. Like, every time I rewatch it, just a blast watching this. Just seeing these three evil kids. And they do a great job, man. Like, they do a great job portraying these three little bastards that are just fucking criminal masterminds. Like, these kids, man. I'll get into some of it, but these kids, they got something going for them, even if it's the evil path to take. So we're in California in 1970. This opens up with, and there's a solar eclipse that these three kids are born on, and supposedly this makes them evil. And the nurse, she was outside of the hospital. She was just going to bareback watch this solar eclipse. Like, her retinas would have been burned out like within a few minutes. Like, she had no protective gear or anything, and the doctor even says, like, oh, sounds like you're not going to be able to watch that eclipse. You've just saved your fucking eyesight. And then those three kids are born, and then we skip forward 10 years, so they're 10 years old in 1980, and we have a couple that's making out in a grave or something, an empty grave. Looks like an empty grave, because then they get buried afterwards. But then you see the guy get hit, like, not even hit. This guy gets, like, patted on the head with the shovel, like, 3 or 4 times, and he's dead. The other one gets the jump rope wrapped around her neck and gets strangled to death, and then they're both buried alive. See, the thing with kid killers in movies is that no one wants to suspect a kid of being evil or being a killer or anything like that. Like, anytime, you always have to give the benefit of the doubt. Benefit of the doubt. Benefit of a doubt. Fuck you. Fucking, you know what I mean. So you always have to give it some leeway when it's a kid, because, I mean, like, when it comes to, like, you can never hit a woman, right? Like, you can never hit a woman. Wrong. Like, wrong, sorry, but if you've seen enough of these fucking crazy movies and there's a female murderer at the end, a woman killer, yeah, she's getting knocked the fuck out before I die. Like, seriously? Like, and then, but in movies like this, though, you have to really think about it, and it's like, it's a kid. I mean, you can't hurt a kid. You can't punch a kid or anything like that. Wrong again. Series of wrongs on your parts if you're saying yes. If I saw some kid, yeah, it would be hard, and I'd have to have concrete proof that this kid's a murderer. Like, I'd have to see him or her kill someone in front of me. I'd be like, all right, so he's definitely fucking a psychotic child. If I see a kid running at me with a gun or an axe or a knife or anything like that, that kid's getting knocked out. Like, straight up, like, he's getting knocked the fuck out. I'm not gonna hurt it. I'm not gonna fucking kill it. It's a child. You don't want to hurt it. But I'm not dying for what? So I look like I'm a moral person? Fuck that. That kid's getting knocked out, and I'm not gonna die. You see, I'd rather look like guilty as shit, like child abusive at the movies, than dead as known as a moral person afterwards. Like, that's totally the situation. Like, I would not hesitate for a second. If I knew for sure that these were psychotic killer kids, they'd all be getting punched in the face and being knocked out immediately. Tie them up and then have the cops called. Absolutely. No way I'm dying because they're a child. Fucking, yeah, well, if they can fucking kill people like adults can, they can take a fucking bash to the face and be unconscious for a while, just like an adult can. I see no argument with it. And then we have Debbie running her little scam of charging all the kids in town to, like, spy and peephole on her sister undressed. That's funny as shit. I knew the few children back in my day that had the same scam going. So it's like that Nigerian bank scam. It just never goes out of style. It's just always there. And then we have the kids beating Debbie's dad to death, which is kind of horrifying, man. Like, this is his fucking daughter. And she's like the fucking ringleader out of all of them. Like, if I had to say, like, Debbie's the brains, Curtis is the muscle. This motherfucker is like, this guy just has a straight up fucking hard-on for evil. Like, this kid just wants to kill. And then Steven's kind of just the one nobody really even cares about. Does he even kill anyone in this movie? I don't think he does. Like, it just ended an hour and a half. Like, it was just an hour and a half ago it started. It just ended like 5 minutes ago. I really can't think of a scene where he kills somebody. So Steven's just like that one who's invited to the club, but you don't really want there. That's what Steven's role is in all of this. But yeah, just seeing them, fucking Curtis beating the dad with the baseball bat. Does Steven do that? Maybe that's the one contribution he gives. One of them, they both beat the shit out of the dad to death after he like avoids the skateboard that they set up for him to trip and fall on. And I just love the way that every time they kill someone and they almost get caught, they just gotta act like a kid. They and like I said, no one's gonna suspect a kid or think the worst of a kid like that. And they just drag his body to the stairs, like, mommy, daddy fell, daddy fell. Who's gonna not believe that? Me. I'm gonna fucking grill that kid. I'm gonna be, yeah. Which way did he come out? What side of the stairs did he go on? You know, how much of it did you see? Where were your friends during all this? Yeah, I would fucking grill that little girl. She ain't getting away with murdering her father like that. The sheriff of the town also? No way. And they were playing hide and seek in the junkyard, and Curtis fucking locks Timmy in the refrigerator, which it's just the perfect time for this reference, and no one's gonna get it. But I mean, he gets hidden. They're playing hide and go seek. He hides in the refrigerator. Can't get out. Who cares? How many kids do you know get to die a winner? If anyone gets that, we got a lot more in common than just horror. And then, like, I would give a lot more points to this movie if just a golden retriever came out of nowhere and ran up to Joyce and just started barking. And she's like, "What is it, boy? Like, is little Timmy stuck in old Miller's fridge again? Woof. Yeah? Okay, all right, let's go get him." I'd give it like 3 more points just for having a scene like that. Just for having old Timmy trapped in the old Miller's fridge. And these kids are criminal fucking masterminds, like I said. Like, the way that they plan all these things out and all these murders, like, you never hear serial killing as like a good skill. Like they always say, your kids, if they're good at something, encourage it. You never see that in movies, though. Horror movies, nothing. You never hear like my situation. If I was in this movie, that was one of my kids. Honey, like, our kid is a fucking mastermind. Like, come on, you have to see her art. Like, look at the scalpel markings on the neck here on this victim. It's perfectly done. Like, honey, we have to get them into a school, like, right away. Like, these are skills that have to be honed. Like, our kids could become one of the greatest serial killers in the history of the fucking world, man. Like, we have to get them into Magneto's school for supervillains right away, because they obviously have some fucking talent. But you never hear that. You never hear serial killing encouraged in children in movies. Never really once. Maybe Dexter in the show with the whole code thing. But that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about take these skills and send them off to like the Hogwarts of like evil children and let them just flourish as serial killers, because they obviously have a knack for it. At 10 years old, come on, you can't deny any kid something they're great at when they're that young. And then Curtis shoots the teacher, and he's even smart enough to, like, it doesn't make a difference really, it's not a good silencer, but he even makes a point to wrap the gun, to try to silence it a little bit when he shoots the teacher. I'm telling you, man, these kids, fucking brilliant. For that age, for 10 years old, to think of even trying to silence that gun, and no one hears that gunshot, like, at all. And then later on, there's something that happens that, like, the cop shows up immediately and heard, like, this whole commotion happen from, like, miles away. And he shows up and nobody heard the gunshot go off. I don't know. Then, yeah, this part, when they're trying to run over Joyce with the car in the junkyard, when they leave a note on the door pretending it's Timmy, saying that he's playing at the junkyard after he promised he wouldn't go play there again. And they're trying to run her over with the car, which... cool, but I mean, you could have thought of something better to try to get. Just, where's that, like, awesome gun you have, Curtis? Pull that shit out when she's walking to the junkyard and just shoot her. I mean, it's really hard to run somebody over, especially in the junkyard. Especially when you got, like, 3 kids trying to control the car, and one's in a sheet, and you can't even see through the eye holes, and then, like, when she's trying to run away... like, I hate this in so many movies when they're just like running from something that's directly like headed towards them, but all they have to do is step to the side one way or the other and they're clear of the danger. Like all she had to do was step to the side of that car. Like she didn't have to walk to the edge and like right where the car falls off. Just step to the side a little bit. She doesn't think of that. I guess not. And then this girl doesn't notice the big hole in her wall. Beverly, the sister of Debbie, the peephole. I don't know. Like, I'm the type of person that if even the smallest thing possible in my room is moved at all, like even if it's a stupid, like a fucking collectible or something like that, facing a slightly different direction, I'm going to see that, I'm going to notice, and I'm going to say, somebody move my shit. Like, immediately. That's just, maybe it's just OCD and how I am, but you can't move a fucking thing that belongs to me without me noticing that it was moved. So for her not to notice this big-ass hole in her closet wall, I don't know, man. I mean, I get if it's possible for sure, but there's no fucking way I would notice that. Like a big ass, and that's all it is. It's a peephole. Like there's nothing else it could be. Like it's just a peephole looking into your room, and you don't notice at all. I guess not. And then let's just blame Saturn for everything. The fuck does that have to do with anything? Then they bring up Saturn and that because the eclipse when the kids were born, that Saturn was hidden from Earth, and that Saturn is like your personality traits, and that means that Debbie must be lacking a personality trait or something like that. Anything that has to do with your astrological sign is just complete bullshit to me. Like it really is. I hate when people like lead conversations with that, especially if you just meet somebody within like the first few minutes and they're like talking about themselves. They're like, yeah, no, I'm a Taurus, so I'm always like this. What I can do. I'm a Taurus. Like, no, you're a dick, and you're just acting like a dick because that's who you are. It has nothing to do with being a Taurus. Fucking don't act like if your parents had sex like 2 months prior, you'd be letting shit slide and you'd be a cool person. No, you're a dick. Just be who you are. It has nothing to do with the alignment of the stars or your astrological sign or any of that bullshit. So let's just blame Saturn and we'll put that up on the defense with the 2 kids who get arrested at the end. But well, listen, Honor, we can't really blame the kids here because Saturn, as you might know, the planet, it was obscured during the eclipse they were born on. So you see, Saturn's to blame for everything here. You're damn right. Let's get Saturn here on Let's put Saturn on trial. Fuck that. I like Saturn. It's got rings. I like wearing rings. I like Lord of the Rings. I love Elden Ring. I like the whole tradition of giving a ring to someone and pledging the rest of your life. Not so much that tradition, but like the rest of them for sure. Awesome stuff. I like Saturn. I like its rings. Let's not bring Saturn into the blame here. It has nothing to do with it. These are just evil fucking kids. And then the couple in the van, like how many times have you used this line or fucking have heard this line, people out there, when there's just a girl and a guy in a van in the middle of nowhere, except they're just like parked right outside someone's house in this, I don't know. But they're just parked and they're fucking there, and then the girl says, I think I hear something, and the guy always says like, no, I don't hear nothing. Like, like our ears are turned off by that point. Like there could be a fucking parade going down the street and we're not going to hear anything. We're going to be like, no, that's the wind blowing. You hear trumpets and shit going on in the background. Floats are flying by the windows. Like, no, I'm pretty sure honey, there's nothing going on. Just shut up and kiss me. Like, you see so many of these movies. It's ridiculous in every single one of them, but it is hysterical. And then Curtis shows up and shoots the 2 of them. This guy's got some fucking aim on him. I mean, they're close shots, but he's got good aim. And then Beverly has 0 reaction to the peephole when she finds out about it from Joyce. When Joyce is like, oh yeah, your sister's like charging $25 for all the little boys to watch you. She's like, has no reaction. She's like, you gotta be kidding me. And then like, that's it. Like, I'd be pissed if I were her. Like, I would be a little more pissed. If it was me, like, I wouldn't give a shit. I mean, I'm not like fucking the Mona Lisa. You can peep all you want. It's not going to be a fun show. It's kind of like Whistler's mother from the movie Mr. Bean. But, like, after he tries to fix her. That's what you get peeping on me, is a weird Whistler's mother, Mr. Bean version. So if that suits your fancy, go on ahead. Drill a fucking peephole in my house. You will not enjoy yourself. And then I'll have a way to shoot you in the fucking eye with an arrow if I catch you on my property. And then the whole thing with the poison, I hate that in movies. Like, and I'm so glad they address it here. When there's just a character that just has something behind their back, like one arm behind the back, and you know something's there, but a character brings no fucking knowledge to it, no, doesn't acknowledge it at all, no recognition to it, has no reaction, doesn't ask what's behind your back. They just like play it off like, oh, this guy must have an itchy back for like a long ass time, this whole conversation. And then they just leave. So at least in this one, she notices and says, what do you do? He was putting the icing on the cake, like he was poisoning it. And then we find out that just to make her look crazy, he tricked her and didn't really poison the cake. And now Debbie's an expert archer? Like, come on, we need these kids into a fucking school. Come on, let's rally up. Let's get these kids into like 40-year late serial killing school. They probably are pretty good by now. They're any like America's 10 top, like most wanted, there are probably 3 of them. And they just grew up, the actors and actresses, and we're not aware. That's exactly what happened. They grew up to be actual serial killers. And now Joyce is put in Debbie's little scrapbook because she's next. They've had enough of Joyce. They want to kill her. And is it anybody else that Joyce in this movie kind of reminds me of young, what the fuck's her name? Young Beverly in It from 2017 or something like that within those years. She looks a decent amount like the actress who plays Beverly, which is slipping my mind what the actress's name is. But very similar, like the hairstyle and like freckles. I don't know. It looked a decent amount a bit like her. And then Curtis tries shooting Joyce and fails. And like a bunch of times too, like 5-6 times. At this point, it's like, all right, you know what, honey? Like, it was a fucking fluke. Like, our kids aren't as good as we thought they were. Our fucking son can't even nail this bitch with like 6-7 bullets. Like, it was a fucking fluke. Withdraw the tuition. Have him taken back from SK Prep, serial killer prep. That's right, prep school that we were sending him to. You can withdraw that tuition and everything, because he's just not that as good as we thought he was. And then Beverly has the real Annabelle doll on her bed in her room. Maybe that's the evil. Maybe it has nothing to do with the fucking eclipse. Maybe Annabelle is in this house and that's what started Debbie becoming evil, and that evil spread to the other 2 kids. I'm convinced. That's my headcanon now. We got Annabelle the doll in that house on Beverly's bed. Annabelle has been killing motherfuckers way before the first Annabelle movie in The Conjuring. So we got to give Annabelle some credit. And then the police arrest Curtis and Steven because Debbie just runs out to her mom before the cops come and says she's going to get blamed too and she didn't do anything. This bitch puts everything on her friends. Like, this is a fucking rat to like no end. This is like the rat that like I don't complain about seeing in horror movies. But this bitch just gives them up. Like, hands down, like a few times in this movie too. So it's like, oh, like, yeah, Curtis was doing this, or Curtis did a bad thing, and like I tried stopping him and stuff. And that's another thing. When you have kid killers, it's even more hard to look past that and see them for actually being killers if it's a girl. I don't know if that's just personal experience, speaking from being a father of a daughter, but having a girl child killer is even more. It would take me a lot more to convince me, is what I'm saying, I guess. It would take a decent bit more to convince me, especially that she's like the brains behind this whole little trio operation, that she's like the fucking brainiac, she's the ringleader. That would take me some more convincing, like, for sure. But she'd still get knocked the fuck out if she was running at me with any type of killing tool. You better believe that. And then the police arrest them, and then Debbie, is now ran off with her mother, and her mother doesn't want anything happening to her daughter, so they change their names, and she is now Beth Simpson, Debbie's last name. And she says that she's going to be her good girl from now on to the mother. And then we just see the mechanic's dead body underneath the truck that he was working on, that Debbie, or Beth, whoever the fuck you want to call her now, just killed before they leave this motel. And that is Bloody Birthday. Great movie. I always enjoy watching this movie. Like, I haven't seen this in a few years, and I knew immediately these two videos were the movies I was going to do for my birthday here. Especially that it fit in with the whole slasher month thing. Said, happy birthday to me, bloody birthday, for sure. And, alright, now I can finally get on with my fucking birthday night and go enjoy the shit out of myself in whatever way I'm going to. And I will have these two videos up sometime tomorrow evening probably, and then I'll try to get a video or two out after that. All depends how I'm recovering. Fucking, it's my birthday, I don't get to enjoy myself much. I mean, hey, watching movies and taking notes and then having words come out relating to that movie, that's a lot of fucking work, I'll tell you right now. But all work and no play makes JT a dull boy. So I'm going to not be a dull boy and go enjoy my birthday. So I will talk to you guys tomorrow. And again, thanks for all the birthday wishes and all that. And I will talk to you guys soon.